Well, welcome along to our Longines Irish Champions Weekend special edition of What's the Word in association with Ladbrokes. Looking forward to the action. We got Dave Jennings from the Racing Post, Brian Sheeran from the Racing Post, and from our sponsors, Ladbrokes, James Mordaunt as well. So, we all good?
Excellent.
Pretty
We
excited.
can't be excited on a Friday before Irish Champions Weekend, Tom. There's something seriously wrong.
Yeah, it's bloody good weekends racing. Even before we get on to Longines Irish Champions Weekend, the St. Ledger at Doncaster, we'll just jump straight in, I guess, to the action because no time. You're all cannonball merchants anyway, so we'll jump straight in. Go on, James, how did you bet for the Ledger?
Well, we've Logician in at favourite at the moment, even money about that. Sir Dragonate is at 5-2. Il Paradiso 8-1, 9-1 Sir Ron Priestley, Technician 16s, and 20-1 or bigger about the last few runners.
Is Logician a shade on the short side for you?
I think so. I think when you get an opportunity to back the best horse in the race as 5-2 second favourite, you've got to take it. I think Sir Dragonate is the best colt in the race. And I don't know if viewers saw Donnacha O'Brien's interview with Gary O'Brien at
it's well worth looking up.
At Listowel. I don't think I've ever seen him. I've interviewed him a few times, but I've never heard him so bullish in an interview ever. It was
I think maybe Saxon Warrior, but that was after the race.
Maybe
but
so. But like,
how did that run?
The way he was emphasising how much Sir Dragonate is the best horse in the race was really interesting, and the fact that Donnacha is riding Sir Dragonate all the time at home as well is huge.
Yeah.
And look, the likelihood is it's going to be probably Donnacha's last chance of winning the Classic as well. I doubt we'll see him riding next year, and I just think with Sir Dragonate, the way he's been campaigned after he's beaten in the Derby, obviously it was a case of we've got a Ledger horse here, and people are wondering will he stay. His first two races were over a mile and 4.5. That was his debut at Tipperary, and second time out in the Chester Vaz as well. He was hitting the line hard at Chester, won by 8 lengths. I think he's a better horse than Logician.
Yeah, he hit the line pretty hard in the Derby as well. He just seemed to lose his action and the idiosyncrasies that are Epsom. What do you make of Brian?
There's not much I can add to that. I mean, Sir Dragonate, I thought it'd be even close. I know there's 3-1 out there, and Sir Dragonate, I thought it'd even be close between Logician and Sir Dragonate. I thought that he ran a cracker on his comeback there at the Curragh. I thought he was shaped like a horse that needed over an inadequate trip.
Cracker?
I think, yeah.
Really?
Well, yeah, like considering he didn't get a clear passage at all. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you could tell they had their... I know Kevin Prendergast was saying they don't go around with rulers and weighing scales or whatever, but he looked like a horse that would come on.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Like
yeah, well, it screamed to me that a horse is going to shape with a lot more promise the next day. So they have. I think we're going to see just the real sort of.
I mean, it's not dissimilar from Kew Gardens getting beaten this time last year and sort of, you know.
Yeah,
it was a prep run.
Yeah,
you know.
it was. It's fair to say it was a prep run.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the action from the Curragh then. From Leopardstown rather. We'll start with the feature event of the weekend, the Kipco Irish Champion Stakes. How do we bet in this one, James?
We go 7-4 on Magical, Ellercam at 11-4, 4-1 Headman, Mad Moon at 7s, and 12-1 Deirdre, 14-1 or bigger about the rest.
Got the dead 8 for each way purposes. Are you looking at the top of the market, or are you going to look for something a little chunkier?
I'm very sweet on Ellercam here, Tom. To me, he's unexposed still. I think I know he's had plenty of races. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. If you go through RPRs, and I think our RPRs in Racing Post are pretty good. In his last 2 starts, he posted an RPR of 122 in the Sky Bet Your Stakes when he hammered a Deb on a Deb's preferred ground, and then he posted an RPR of 123 when he was really unlucky, I thought, in the Juddmonte International. Magical's last 2 RPRs as well have been 122 and 123. So on the form book, he has nothing to find with Magical, and I think he's getting better. I really do. I think with a clear passage, you didn't get to see the real Ellercam at York at all because he's a big colt. He's an imposing individual that needs that long stride. When he hit the front 2 or 3 out the previous time at York, we really got to see what he was made of. I think Jim Crowley is going to be more positive this time. They know they've got a guaranteed stayer over 10 furlongs. Leopardstown, he's going to be sitting on the tail of Hunting Horn on the home turn. And I think if he kicks on the home turn and pinches a length or 2, I think with that long stride at Leopardstown, I think he's going to be very hard to catch. To me, he's the one horse in the race that we definitely haven't seen the best of yet. I've fallen for this horse.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. But do you think he's good enough to win this, Brian?
I can see that the race going like that, only Mad Moon picking him off.
I was actually, just as soon as you described it, I was actually thinking a similar.
Well, I have to say, if Ellercam is beaten, I would absolutely love if Mad Moon won. Just for you, Brian.
Well, I could need a turn of luck badly. But what I'm just saying, I can't believe how people were so downbeat about Mad Moon's winning that Group 3 the last day. I mean, over.
I mean, if you're going to say that Sir Dragonet's comeback run was good, then surely Mad Moon's brilliant.
Of course, he was a little bit workmanlike and all that, but if you were looking at
He
this
was
horse,
over a mile and he missed the break.
10 furlongs around a track he likes. I mean, he probably didn't stay the Derby trip, even though he was only separated him from victory or whatever. I just think this is what the horse wants. This is his bag.
I think his Leopardstown form is 1-2-1-1, isn't it?
Yeah, he's won 3 there and he was second the other time. I mean, he's a cracking bet at 6-1. I wouldn't even be going in each way. So yeah, he's Mad Moon for me.
Okay, that's fair enough. Anything to add to that, James?
Well, I like Mad Moon here as well, but just a word on Anthony Van Dyke as well. I think a Derby winner to be such a price. If you draw a line through that sovereign race in the Irish Derby, I think Mad Moon and Anthony Van Dyke will be right there at the business end of this.
Interesting thing that Aidan has never actually won this race as part of the Champions Weekend banner. Like the last time winner was
so you think 2011, he's won it 7 times, has someone. There's been no Irish trained winner of the race since 2011, which is hard to believe.
Yeah, that is mad. And I mean, so you think he's a bit of a project player, isn't he? He's like Irish trained. Yeah, I mean, he was technically, but like, I mean, really, he did his.
We'll take a technicality.
We'll take a technicality. Yeah, he's our Bundia key. Right, let's move on to the Matron Stakes, the other Group 1 action on Saturday at Leopardstown. James, how do you go with that?
Yeah, Lawrence 13-8. It is Hermosa 5-2. I Can Fly is at 11-2. Skitter Scatter at 8-1, and its 10s are bigger then.
Do I need to ask you who you're going to tip up here? Or
Absolutely not. It's a cliff horse for me, Lawrence. I keep coming back. Put her up before her last run. She didn't do anything wrong at all, and I just think she'll have the beating of all of these in this race. Hermosa probably will be the one to chase her home.
Okie doke. You with Lawrence?
I'm very seldom myself and James agree, but we're singing from the same hymn sheet here. I went through this race yesterday, and like Lawrence is the type of filly. We did a quick straw poll at the office like here earlier, and people were saying, geez, every time I back her, she never wins, kind of thing. And I just don't know how you couldn't fall for her. Like, she's a brilliant attitude, and she's your typical filly that just tries and wants to win. When you go through the race, like, it's probably not the most vintage renewal at the Matron Stakes. And last year's race, she beat Alpha Centauri. I know Alpha Centauri obviously wasn't herself on the day, but that's a very, very strong piece of form. Her sectionals last time at York, even though she was beaten by Shine So Bright, I think the last 2 furlongs were ridiculously quick. I think it was the fastest time done on the 7 furlong track at York for some time. So maybe we should actually upgrade that performance a little bit, even though she was beaten. Hermosa, I just thought it was too bad to be true.
That was just not.
I know, obviously, tried to be positive on Hermosa. That's the way she won both Guineas, and she was taken on by Medea. But it was just so disappointing. I just wondered, did she peak earlier on this season? Whereas Lawrence has just been a gradual progression, I think. I think Leopardstown is made for her. She won the race last year. Carl Burke has openly said that this has been her prime target all season. So I think she's going to be very hard to beat. I do think her biggest danger is Skitter Scatter. There was 16s about Skitter Scatter earlier this week. That was ridiculous for a filly of her ability.
The annoying thing now is we have 7 runners.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah, but I think she'll be second. I think you could back her without Lawrence. She's drawn in stall 1. She has cracking form from last year. She beat Hermosa when she won the Moyglare and this weekend last year. She's fresh. I know she missed most of the season with a pulled hamstring, but she's fresh, and I thought she ran perfectly respectably at Tipperary. She's been trained for this race. To me, it's relatively straightforward with Lawrence beating Skitter Scatter.
Okay, straightforward.
Right, yeah.
You're taking out Group 1 winners there, Iridessa, Hermosa and the like, but okay.
Well, I really wanted to take Lawrence on, but I couldn't really.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, and just one note for PJ McDonald, he missed the race last year, so it's going to be great.
Yeah,
he's never ridden a Group 1 winner in Ireland. He's a Wexford native, so it would be an
lovely
amazing day.
Lovely piece with him in the Racing Post tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good stuff, look forward to it. Right, elsewhere on the Leopardstown card, because we've so much to get through. Jenna, you like going in the Ingabel, that listed contest for fillies. I was actually a little surprised that Jessica Aaron didn't enter more in this one. She has 2, but who do you like?
Yeah, I'm hoping I can top and tail the card. I like Raven's Cry, even though she's drawn out in stall 9 for Paddy Toomey and Billy Lee. Just the way she stretched right away from that previous winner, Gerlines at Listowel, or Killarney, I thought was really impressive. I know she's back over 7, but she strikes me as a filly who could develop into a classic contender next season, improving with every run. I think she's very, very good, Raven's Cry. So we're going to go for her in the 155, and then the 6 o'clock, the final race in the card. Yes, Silver Code has been second in the race for the last 2 years in a row. Second off 99 in 2017, second off 91 last year.
He is down to a mark now.
He's down to 83. Now, this could be a perfectly executed plan by Joe Murphy. The only thing I will say was, he wouldn't have got into the race last year with a mark of 83. So I don't know if it's a case of Silvercoat has lost his form a little bit, or it's absolutely genius by Joe Murphy. It's one of the two.
It probably falls between the two. He had an unbelievable season 2 years back when he won, I think, 3 times at the Curragh, and then was just placed in this race first time round. He's probably just not quite reached that peak since, but like off a mark of 83.
Yeah, and the fact that he's got into the race and stall 10, it's in the middle, it's okay. Just loves Leopardstown. I think last year's race was probably slightly better than this year's race, and look, the value is gone. I think it's into 13-2 now, but you know, if he was second in the race off 99, I don't think he's regressed as much as his mark of 83 suggests.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'd probably pop up Jassar as a potential improver there that could get involved. Hey, Brian, you like one as well in the juvenile stakes?
Yeah, I mean, Mogul is going to be hard to beat in that 305. I mean, brother to Japan, but Sinuan really liked his performance in the maiden success there at the Curragh a couple of weeks back. Son of Kingman. I mean, Michael Halford's having a really good season with his juveniles this year, so he's got a.
You'd think he seems to have a better class of juvenile this year, so he would have a better idea of sort of where they stand with the likes of Roman Turbo and that too.
And just given the way he's progressed from run to run.
Yeah, a stone at least.
Each time. If there's another stone up there, I'll be happy to take on Mogul there. Mogul's around 1-2, 2-5, so Sinuan, you probably get about 6-1. So.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of an intriguing thing that Aidan O'Brien probably hasn't had the level of success in the kind of Longines Irish Champions weekend as a whole as maybe people would have predicted was the case maybe 5 years ago. And you look at he has not had, the kind of dominance one would kind of expect when, the worst of cynics would have said, oh, this is just set up for Aidan O'Brien's dominance.
Yeah, I'd say like if you, like the Dublin Racing Festival is the equivalent over jumps, and Willie has probably been more dominant than Aidan has in the flat equivalent. So it's just very, very competitive.
Yeah, it's great to see. All right, let's move on to the Sunday action then at the Curragh. We'll start with the Irish St. Leger, which is I was looking into this a couple of weeks ago and I was slightly crestfallen, but I do think it's actually a better race than I thought it was going to be, with a few kind of previous classic winners in amongst them. But James, how did it bet?
Yeah, well, Kew Gardens has overtaken Cross Counter at the head of the market now. 5-2 Kew Gardens. Is 11-4 Cross Counter Southern France at 7-1. Latrobe 8, Capri is at 9-1, Salouin at 10s, 11-1 Master Reality, 12-1 Search for a Song, Twilight Payment 14s, and then 50-1 the outsider Cypress Creek.
What do you like here?
Well, the short answer is, you having a monkey's what's going to win this race.
There's actually four classics and a Melbourne Cup between this lot.
You've got the last two winners of the Leger at Doncaster and Kew Gardens, and Capri. Capri obviously beat Crystal Ocean and Stradivarius when he won the Leger.
Okay, you're not giving up Capri though.
You've got Cross Counter in there as a strong traveller and will probably benefit from this trip. Then you've got Latrobe, who, like Donnacha O'Brien...
He was third in the race last year.
Yeah, Donnacha O'Brien is riding Latrobe. You'd imagine Donnacha could have ridden Southern France if he wanted to with Ryan on Kew Gardens.
Yeah, because there's no pressure on weights. Like all the colts are at 9-9.
And Master Reality is rated 118, Kew Gardens rated 119, and Cross Counter's rated 118. So Master Reality is smack bang there in the ratings. But look, I'm absolutely ashamed of myself, but I'm going to put up Capri because I'll tell you why.
Oh God,
I know,
really?
I know. I don't want to. I really don't. But I just.
Brian is not jumping in here like he might be going to tip him up as well. I feel like he should be burying you.
Look, the chances are, and there's a very, very strong chance that he won't win. Right?
Okay.
An absolute massive chance that he won't win. But I do say, I just obviously going into this race, one of the key form lines is the Ascot Gold Cup.
Yeah.
And if you just
He's
just
an
watch
absolute monkey, like.
Yeah.
He's an absolute
what
monkey.
you're going to say there.
Yeah, no, he is a monkey. And
I know he's a monkey, but
maybe he could just get dropped on the line or something.
He can do it when he's on his game. Now he's only won once since he won the Leger. Look, he's been bitterly disappointed. But I just watched the Ascot Gold Cup and I just said to myself watching that race, if that was over a mile 6 rather than 2.5 miles, what would have happened? And I watched the race and the ease with which he arrives turning for home. You say to yourself, he has to give Stradivarius a massive race. Now, maybe he's gone at the game. Maybe he is gone at the game.
I don't think he's completely gone at the game. He has tons of ability, but...
I just think, he'll be ridden cold, I'd imagine, here. He's won the Irish Derby at the Curragh. He obviously likes the place.
I think you're trying too hard.
I am trying too hard, but I just go back to that Gold Cup. His finishing effort was tame, but if it was over a mile 6, he would have been banged there.
Brian, will you just tell us who actually wins this race, please? Kew Gardens, yes, thank you.
Kew Gardens will probably win.
You broke out.
Look, I don't fancy anything.
Okay, right. There are lots of really good races on the current card on Sunday.
I was actually
Really
in
another-
Capri recently.
Yeah.
Great spot.
Is that what inspired that selection?
One of the nice places I've been at.
Yeah. Like, that's an irony, isn't it? Right, let's get on to the Colts Group 1, because I know a horse you do like is Pinatubo, and surely he wins this. And it's a back-to-back wins this race.
This is as good a juvenile as I've ever seen. His form is fantastic. His attitude is fantastic. He's got pace. He's got stamina. He is everything you want in a racehorse. And I'd be devastated if he's beaten. It's just great that you've got a race in the card. You don't have to have a bet, and you can watch. You can admire a thing of beauty. And to me, Pinatubo is something really, really special. I think we have to take advantage of him when he's here, and it's great to see him running this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Fair play to Godolphin. Obviously won the race of Quarto last year. How do you bet in this?
Yeah, Pinatubo 4-9, Armory 5-2, 9-1 Arizona, and well, the rest are 20-1 or bigger. But Pinatubo is probably
You going to take him on, Brian?
Do you know what I hate? Is every year someone says, this is the best juvenile I've ever seen, or whatever. Last year it was too darn hot. I mean, we're so
I
reactionary.
didn't say that.
You did? You said this is one of the best juveniles I've
No, I
ever
know.
seen.
I didn't say too darn hot was though.
No, I know, but I'm just
Other
saying.
people did.
Stereotype.
It's just, yeah, look at he's a fantastic horse. Armory was very impressive the
What
last
price is
day.
Armory?
Armory is the second favourite, 5-2.
Okay.
5-2, yeah.
Shot through the gap and then just pulled himself up. I mean, he's...
So much to like about that.
Yeah, look,
Time was poor though.
I'll say Pinatubo will probably win, but long term, I think Armory might be a better horse.
Hell of a shout. Well, I mean, there's precedence there. We didn't see Quarto since. So let's move on to the fillies then. The Moydale Stud Stakes. Notable here that Jessica Harrington runs Albania and Rest Alpine Star sends her otherwise. I assume fillies mine or something like that. How do they bet?
Albina is 13-8, Daya is at 11-4, Love 9-2, Soul Search 8-1, 12-1 then are bigger about the remainder of the field.
I mean, the Jessica Harrington 2-year-olds have just been one of the stories of the flat season this year. Do you think she can nab the Group 1 with this one, or are you going elsewhere?
I actually, this morning, I was a Daya fan, and I've actually changed my mind.
Okay.
I'm an Albania
So you're
fan.
such a big fan that you've changed your mind.
Yeah, no, I just watching a couple of videos, and like Daya has been off for quite a while, and I just think with Albania, like I did a piece with Jessica Harrington a couple of weeks ago after KM Pepper won, and she said KM Pepper is going to go to France, that Alpine Star is going to run in the Fillies Mile, and Albania was going to run here. So she had her target set out aside a couple of weeks ago, which means Albania has obviously been trained to the minute for this race. Like stepping up from 6 to 7 is massive, because she traded massive in running last time over 6. How she won from the position she was in was remarkable. It was a cracking group race, a really competitive group race. To me, the fact that she's here, she's been trained for the race, she's run over her optimum trip, I think she's going to be very hard to beat. I just absolutely love her attitude. Like she just, every time, like she's looked beaten both,
to win that
both times. Like on debut,
yeah.
how she got through that gap and got up on the line. It's just like she's got a terrific attitude. I think she's going to be hard to brush aside.
What about you, Ryan?
Summed up brilliantly by the man next door. I mean, the finishing flourish she showed there to win the early stud stakes, I mean, that was exceptional.
Yeah.
So,
You were there?
That was the first thing he said to me this morning, that he fancied Albania, so I kind of stole it.
You
convinced me.
I used to be a fan of. How do you bet for the Flying Five, James?
The Flying Five, this one is Sophia. I think you told me how to pronounce that one before here. 5-2 about
still got it
Sophia. Sophia?
Yeah, Sophia's right.
Oh, is it?
That
Sorry.
was you.
That was Sophia.
Mabs Cross 4-1, Soldiers Call 9-2, Houghton 9-2, 9-1, Invincible Army, and 14s are bigger.
Brian, I think myself and yourself are fully signed up members of the fan club, so we're not going to stop now, are we? She's been drawn beside. Sophia's been drawn beside the pace here as well.
Tell them what you said to me this morning. Go for it.
I said a lot this morning.
First word was absolute.
She's an absolute lump job.
Yeah.
Absolute certainty. Told me this morning.
Yeah, I mean, I know you ride out a bit for Eddie and Sarah Lynham, and you get to see this filly in all her glory most mornings. I got to see her a month ago, and I mean, she wouldn't take the eye out of your head, but neither would have sold power. You know, a small little thing, but by God has she got an engine, and she's, as you pointed out earlier, she's drawn beside the pace with Caspian Prince. She just needs to wing it and then quicken up off a strong pace, and I think, I mean, just 3-1 out there. I think that is the bet of the weekend.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, when you talk about Sophia, I was there during the week as well. We did a little video with Eddie. He was like, all I worry about, first thing Friday morning, where is the pace?
Yeah.
And now he's gotten it beside Caspian Prince.
An ability to quicken off that strong pace.
Yeah, I mean, Soldier's Call was kind of too bad to be true the last time in Ireland. Do you think maybe he is a horse or something like that? He
Yeah,
could,
like
Invincible Army.
I kind of hope Sophia wins because, like, Eddie, like, a great guy, very, very witty, brilliant trainer of sprinters, and he's had some of the best we've ever seen in Soul Power and Slave Power. Like, she stepped up her game big time last day. Like, really, like, imagine, I know this is a ridiculous thing to say, but imagine if we were previewing this race in June and you were saying that Sophia was favourite for Group 1. Like, you'd kind of go, oh, geez, where did that come from?
Yeah.
But her progress has been rapid. Like, it's that performance last time was exceptional. To be honest, I just probably want to see that type of performance again, like, because she only just about beat Urban Beat the time before, I think. So she did make a giant step forward. If she does it again, I'll be absolutely thrilled, and I hope she does. But at the prices, I'd probably take her on. And the one I'd take her on with, because I think he's underrated and overpriced, is Hit the Bid. Now, Hit the Bid obviously has done most of his racing out in Dubai of late, but I just loved the speed he showed last time at Tipperary. He looked like a horse that badly needed to run. He's got loads of pace. He's form tied in with Blue Point and horses like that. And he's around about 16 to 1.
In fairness, Darren Bunyan is not the kind of person to, overstate his horse's ability. And for as long as I have been seeing this horse running, he is adamant he is Group 1 class.
I did the preview for the race at Tipperary, and he's an absolute gentleman and really, really nice guy. One of the nicest trainers you could meet. And I said to him straight out, what do you expect? And he goes, well, to be honest, what we've done this year is just completely trained him for this race.
Yeah.
So he said he's going to blow up. He's going to improve a ton for the run. I think he drifted out to 10 to 1. But he still tried a favourite in running at one stage at Tipperary. He's got loads of pace. He's got his ground. This could be his day to finally do it in Ireland. I just think 16 to 1 is too big.
Yeah, he's not a million miles off the grade either, to be fair. He's officially 109, so, it's not. He's not. It wouldn't be completely out of the ordinary.
It's just worth noting with that as well, if you are going to take on the favourite and finish a second to Sophia in that race, if she goes on to win, we are going to give you your money back as a free bet as well. So.
There you go.
Good stuff, there you go. Elsewhere on the Curragh card, we'll start the Bold Lad. Do you like one here?
Yeah. I'm very sweet on one here.
Go on.
I did a Dark Horses piece for the Racing Post a couple of weeks ago, and Primo Umo was the one I was praying would run in this race. Down into a handicap, ran as a pipe opener last week at Navan, travelled like a dream, last off the bridle over 5 at Navan. That was a warm-up for this race. Like a proper group sprinter who's been rubbing shoulders with the best of them. Running in a handicap off a mark of 101. He's just come down a little bit in the way. It started the season off 106. I would have liked a little bit of rain for Primo Umo, but I still think he's got enough speed to cope. Drawn in the middle of the pack in stall 13, which is perfect. And I think Ger O'Leary has played a blinder here running him last week at Navan. Just getting him cherry ripe for this. And to me, right now, he's the best horse in the race. And I think his class could shine here because there's a lot of kind of exposed sprinters in here that we know a lot about. This is a proper group sprinter. Yeah. He's going to be a huge price. I think he's got a cracking chance.
Yeah. Who won it last year? Yeah, Sophia. Right, go on. You do like one in this?
I do like one, yeah. Verhoeven, I think.
Yeah, I was actually on Popham as well. I thought.
Yeah, won the scurry. He's been put away for it. He got £8 for it. I think David said there's plenty of exposed ones, but I beg to differ. I think there's a few on the upward curve, like Make a Challenge and Verhoeven, and I'd probably be back in the two of them, but Verhoeven is a little bit stronger.
You like going in the Blandford as well at 155?
Yeah, I really like Goddess. I mean, she looked exceptional when she won her maiden at Leopardstown. And then it was when Aidan O'Brien's horses got sick, she kind of lost her form a bit. She's been allowed to come back to form gradually. She went well at Gore, and then she followed up with a brilliant run the last day.
Given the way the market was the last day as well, it suggested there was plenty more. Like,
couldn't get over it.
Generally, when those Aidan O'Brien runners turn up at the Curragh, they get smashed up.
Yeah. What's she
rightly or right?
It was
I think it ended up co-favourites at 3 at 4 to 1 or something like that.
Yeah, they've bypassed the matron, and I was even half fancying her for the matron. So yeah, I think she's a great bet.
Yeah, that's fair enough. On to the final race of the weekend, the Northfields Handicap.
I've won for that.
You have one? Yeah, I have one for that.
I've won for that. Okay, I'd say they're all three different ones.
Probably. Go on.
I'm going to give another chance to the Galway hurdle winner, Tudor City, who was disappointing at York, but it was a bloody messy race, I thought. And drawn in stall 3, Sean Davis takes off £3, only rated 80 on the flat, rated 146 over hurdles. And I think a race like this at suits Tudor City, he'll be able to creep into contention, and I think he could be about £10 well in if things go according to plan. So Tudor City for me.
£10 well in. Okay.
I'm going to go with last year's winner, Hamley, trained by Peter Fahey and Ben Cohen. I mean, she's just a different filly around the Curragh. She needs a big galloping track like that. There was excuses for Galway. It was a trip too short. She had a terrible draw. If you go back to her run where she flew home for fourth, I think it was Derby weekend here. I just think she's a cracking each way.
Brian has a horse trained by Peter Bagg, so he isn't in
Well,
in
that
the
would
stable.
that wouldn't
So
come
he
out of my
knows
judgment.
he has got the lowdown.
Yeah, he told
Peter is too shrewd to be talking to lads like me to tell me information.
What did he say? She was Saturday.
Well, he was quite. If you read the Racing Post today, actually, you'll see his quotes because we did a small little piece with him. So yeah, I'd be very sweet. On
Okay,
her
so
each
you're
way.
with
Hamley.
You're with.
Tudor City.
I think Cuban Hope still has a little bit of scope to improve as well. He was entering a few handicaps over the course of the weekend, and he's come down in the North Fields rather than the Patingo that I thought he was.
Horses are running well as well.
Yeah,
Jim,
horses
yeah.
are running well, and Jim Bulger, I'm sure, would like to have a winner on this weekend. One quick word as well on the Pat Smullen Champions Race for Cancer Trials. Ireland Ladbrokes have very kindly given us a charity bet, so we're giving one away to a viewer. So we had the competition on Twitter earlier. So well done to John Morris, who's at Johnny Glenn on Twitter. So I've given him my charity bet, so he got the charity bet, and he is putting it on Sir Dragonay in the St. Ledger. Your charity bet?
Mine,
Billy?
just because for such a good cause, I'm going to try and take a right few quid out of Ladbrokes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go for Primo Umo, 50 quid each way in the 120. God, it's an early start. 120 at the Curragh on Sunday.
Yeah, and Brian?
And I just want to make sure that I'm going to get a few quid for the cause, so I'm going to go on Sophia in the 225.
Did you have a quick look at the race? Do you know who do you think might win?
Not really. Like it's a great novelty, great idea. It'll be fascinating to watch. If I was pushed for selection, I would probably go for Catani, Ted Durkin, rated 85. Yeah. Just a bit more scope for improvement than the rest of them.
I think Kieran Fallon and Recent Revelations down at the bottom.
I was looking at that.
Yeah, okay. Right, let's get our best bets of the weekend. Obviously, we've given you our charity bets. So, best bets of the weekend. Go on, James.
Yeah, well, the nap for the weekend for me is going to be Lawrence in the Matron. I do like Mad Moon in the Champion Stakes, and in the Irish Ledger, I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball and go with Southern France.
Southern France, good stuff.
Yeah, so as mentioned, Sophia is the nap. We're going to go each way Hamley in the 6 o'clock, the last race of the whole thing, whole Irish Champions Weekend, and Goddess in the 155.
Good stuff.
Well, my banker is in the 3 o'clock at Doncaster on Saturday. Thresh runs in the Champagne Stakes. I think he's a big player next year's Guineas, crying out for step up to 7. I think he doesn't get the credit. I think he's very, very good. So Tret in the 3 o'clock at Doncaster. Elarcam, for reasons I've already said, I think he'll win the Irish Champion Stakes at 4:15. And Primo Umo in the 120 at the Curragh on Sunday. Happy days.
Good stuff. We're all over Sophia for the weekend. Hopefully she does the business. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and enjoy Longines Irish Champions Weekend. We'll be back next week.